Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is a one-on-one interview with an old friend of the channel now, practically a co-presenter. Steve from the 1958 is here. Good to have you back on the channel. Do you know what, Steve? Whenever I chat to you, it's always good to catch up, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword because in many ways I wish I didn't have to chat to you as often.
It's always doom and gloom.
Yeah, I wish you didn't have to keep protesting, but I'm glad you are. I just wish you didn't have to. Obviously, last time we spoke with you and George Baker from FC United. You did the protest then, a joint protest, good turnout, good to see people getting involved. Tell us a little bit about what you've got planned for the Manchester derby, because there's another protest plan, basically.
Yeah, it's took some doing to turn it round as quick as we have. I don't think we've ever done anything as with as quick a turnaround in sort of a week's time. But you know, we felt that the way things are going at the club, you know. I was going to say you could write a list, and I actually have.
Well, you've had to, haven't you? Because there's that many.
Yeah,
I don't expect you to remember them all.
But it's it's a sitting protest. So similar to we did, I think it was the Forest game.
The Forest game, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember it was at that one.
It was a couple of years ago, that.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? It was a weird. Sorry to digress here. It was a weird game, that, wasn't it? Because it was like we were losing 2-0 after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think they had a player sent off. Then we were winning 3-2. They were down 10 men. Then there was like 12 minutes of injury time. And then we were hanging on. And then it was like, right, okay, now we are staying.
Yeah.
Because we've got a protest to do. And the turnout, I thought, was great.
Yep.
Me and you were chatting a minute ago. And I was up on the other tier with Macola. Really good turnout, really good response. And what impressed me as well, the media got onto it. It was sort of blanket coverage. All the media was talking about it afterwards. A lot of the media was saying, look, you know, this protest has gone at Old Trafford, fans are sitting in, and here's why. Yeah. Which is what you want. You want the media to be highlighting the reasons behind it, not just the fact we're doing it.
They are. I mean, the media. I've said this before to you that I think we've gained the trust of the media over, and it's took years.
Yeah.
But you know, we're not a fly-by organisation. We're not here one day, gone tomorrow.
No.
And you know, for us, it's nice when the media are contacting us. You know, initially it was like we were getting in touch with the few contacts we had, begging people, and you know that circle within the media has got bigger and bigger. You know, we had going back to the FC United protest. We did we actually did a press conference.
Yeah,
it's quite odd sitting in a press conference.
Yeah, but on the other side of it.
Yeah. There was Simon Peach there, George from the Manchester Evening News, Jamie Jackson.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you have these conversations, particularly off camera, you know, you get to know each other a bit more.
Yeah.
And it was nice, Jamie, when he did the press conference for Tuesday, he actually named us and mentioned it to Ruben. And, you know, so I think we've got the recognition, certainly within the media.
Yeah.
We just need... What we need now more than ever is for the fan base to stand up and be counted.
Well, I know you've got the recognition of the media because I keep getting messages asking for your number. So I keep messaging you saying, it's all right, I've passed your number on to another journalist, which, again, it's good to see. Yeah, you want the fans to join together. You want the fans to turn up for this one. I mean, like you said, we mentioned there, the Forest game was a decent turnout. How important is it, though, that fans do this, that get involved? Because it's easy for me to sit here and fans to watch and go, okay, but if fans are there at the ground on Sunday, if they're at the match, what message would you have to them?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you know, it's a sitting protest. It's our seat, not yours. That's the tagline or strapline we've gone with, if you want. There's a multitude of reasons as to why things, you know, and it's all this now centres around fan culture and how those fans in that stadium are being treated.
Right.
You know, I'm sure you've seen the news now that the TRA are no longer for next year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Again, absolutely shocking. The club wanting to put season ticket holders from outside of the TRA into that section. They are phasing out the youth TRA. TRA had their own, you know, there was a massive advocate for the youth and getting involved, and there were TRA youth season ticket holders. They're going to be phased out. You know, so it's all fine and dandy. The club turning around saying, great news, we're freezing youth season tickets. You're also getting without a load of them as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got the fans round the dugout. They're being shoveled on. Decades they've been sat there, some of them. And, you know, if you go to a game regularly, you know the people you sat around.
100%.
And, and it's all about, there's people I meet at a game that I don't know outside of the game. I don't know outside of being in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
But when you're in there for that 90 minutes or that couple of hours, you catch up as mates. So, for people to lose decades of that friendship and just be, and we speak to them, Jay, and they still don't know where they're going. They're none the wiser. I've got actually a good mate of mine who seats there, and he's been contacting the club because he's getting, he's getting mithered to pay for his season ticket, and he's like, I don't know where I'm fucking sitting.
Yeah.
What can I pay for something that I don't know where it's going to be?
Yeah.
So again, that treatment of it's just. It's one thing after another. The fiasco with the Rangers game, when the club have admitted that 1,000 tickets got in the hands of Rangers through hospitality and through them buying memberships and then buying tickets.
I'm glad you mentioned that, and I want to come back to your other points in a sec. But I mentioned that in my news the following day, and I had people in the comments saying, well, this is just so, United fans selling the tickets on to Rangers fans. This is... Jay, the people that the people that you sort of stick up for, just flogging their tickets to Rangers fans. And United have admitted that, like you said, there was ways that the Rangers fans found a loophole, if you will, to get tickets.
It
and
wasn't
got
a loophole, Jay. Well, our hospitality was advertised on Rangers.
Sorry,
website,
not a loophole. Yeah, stupidity.
Yeah,
I'm being kinder to Manchester United than it should be there. You're right. It's not a loophole. It's just stupidity from the club that allowed thousands of Rangers fans to be scattered around Old Trafford in amongst United fans, including where I stand, where it all kicks off.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want to see. And then, it's sort of this absolute nonsense where you have United fans getting blamed for the failings of Manchester United Football Club. Going back to your other point as well, the point about fans who stand and sit with people they've known for years. I do that. I have friends that I go to the game with that I've known for the best part of 2 decades that I see pretty much only at the game. It's a big social thing as well as getting behind the team, of course. So to lose that is devastating for a lot of people. And the club, Manchester United just don't seem to get what is going on. They don't seem to understand the fans. One thing I wanted to ask you about as well is, whenever me and you chat, you get a big sort of wave of support, and then there'll be some people that might be like, well, almost so what? This doesn't affect me. I don't go to Old Trafford that much. I haven't got a season ticket. What message would you be to people that perhaps are watching that maybe rarely go to Old Trafford or don't go to Old Trafford? Because for me, this affects all United fans, regardless of whether you're one of the ones in those seats.
Well, already next year, there's going to be dynamic pricing. So for people without a season ticket, to get a ticket through a membership, then they're going to be paying over the odds for the so-called bigger games. I think personally, this what they're doing with the ticketing is a massive gamble, because we've seen this year. I've not checked today, but yesterday there were still tickets available for the City game.
Says a lot, that, doesn't it?
So, and what they do is they hit everybody with no concessions initially, get without as many tickets as they can, and then they come up with this. We've been sent back an allocation. Whether the season ticket, who returns a season ticket for a derby?
Mate,
yeah, it's not right, is it? But then these tickets go back on the original sale price. So, great news, we've got concessions again. But it's kind of too late then, because if by concession you're talking a junior ticket, then Dad needs to make plans for that day. So when it's what we know, a couple of days away, then then plans are probably scuppered now. So and whether there's going to be the appetite to fill this new stadium, if and when it ever appears. 100,000 seater, they can't fill what they've got now at the prices they've got now, and they're trying to go up from that. It's a massive gamble, and the stadium's going to be funded. Nobody's throwing £2 billion at this, so it's kind of stadium repayments based on a business model of 100,000 people in that stadium week in, week out, and I don't believe that's going to be possible.
I have my reservations as well, not just because of what I think, but from people who know far more about football finance than I ever will, and the logistics behind it all, and some of the numbers that have been bandied about. And there's a lot of people who are saying this doesn't add up, this doesn't make any sense. And they're waiting to see how this is going to come to fruition, because in its current guise, with the current plans and the current sort of idea, the sort of the consensus I'm seeing from a lot of the sort of people in the know. When I say in the know, I mean people that write and study about football finances, saying, look, it just doesn't work. Yeah. A lot of stadiums that you see in America, the new stadiums, they don't go up to 100,000 for a reason. A lot of the land around Old Trafford, it's still not certain what's happening with that. The Freightliner stuff as well. Plus, you're gonna the added problem of more debt. There's going to be more debt, which should be a red flag to any United fan. A couple more questions. In an ideal world, what do you want to achieve with this? What do you want? What would be the best reaction you could get from this process? I say I'll be there with you, but what would be the best outcome?
The club need to understand that what they're doing and how they're treating match-going fans is not how you treat a loyal fan base that goes back decades.
No,
it's not right. And are they going to reverse these decisions? God only knows. But what we can do is keep our foot down, keep the pressure on, and they've got to at some point listen. It's protests are damaging. The press will be all over this.
Yeah.
On Sunday, 100%.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it.
It's live on Sky Sports. They'll be doing their interviews pitch side, although United might try and change that, but usually they do a pitch side interview when you're going to have a backdrop of not an emptying ground, a filling ground, and the Stretford end full of banners and disgruntled fans. So it's not a good look. And Jim, he made a comment on one of the interviews that if I got as much stick as the Glazers did, I'd walk away. It's not about whether he walks away or not. It's do the right thing, Jim.
Yeah, that was a bit of a silly comment. He's made a few comments that have left me scratching my head. But yeah, instead of worrying about getting stick, do something that, like you say, means that people aren't going to give you stick because they can see what you're trying to do, and it's for the better of Manchester United Football Club, which is what you promised when you came in. You said you was a boyhood fan who got it, and you want to take this club back to where it should be. Manchester City fans had their own little protest, didn't they, the other day? And
yes,
I don't say this very often, but fair play to them. A few of them got involved.
Yeah.
So I mean,
my thoughts on that, Jay, straight away was, I speak to the lads in the 1894 and the City Food Bank. We met up with them at the Etihad earlier this year, and they estimated about 8,000 people. It was visible on the TV. Missed the first goal. Now they have now got a meeting with the club tonight,
right?
Which speaks volumes, because the club would not speak to them. They've no idea about the ticket prices for next season yet.
Right.
And the club so far had refused to talk to them. Now they'll speak to them. But that protest worked because every single fan group within Man City got together.
Yeah.
The fan advisory board backed it and supported it. And the fans forum did as well. So everybody's come together, and that's happened. Sadly, we're not at that point at United yet. And this may or may not, but it may have an impact on how many people get involved. It's all about getting the message out there. You guys do a great job. You've got a massive following, but imagine if every single supporters club, the supporters trust, everybody on the fan advisory board. I'm not saying everybody's not getting involved. I do know people on the fan advisory board that are 100% behind this, and there are supporters clubs that are 100% behind this. But if everybody was 100% behind it, the message just amplifies, and it then becomes common knowledge across the whole fan base, no stones unturned, that this is happening. And what we are doing next is, we do struggle with certain fractions of our fan base and supporters trust and clubs and whatever. But we are, hopefully next week this will come out. But we are putting together a unity charter, and we will go to every single official supporters club, every fan group, everybody, and ask them to sign and be part of this charter. And then we'll know who's in and who's out, and we'll move on from there. But, we're trying with Unity. We did it at FC. They're already backing this charter. They've not seen it yet. We shook hands and agreed that, you know, whatever you come up with, we'll get behind it 100%. Because, you know, at heart, these guys, they're still Man United fans and they miss it, you know. And the messages of support that I personally received, thanks for coming down. You know, we did a Q&A with fans in the little bar with the stage underneath the terrace. And it was rammed. You couldn't get another soul in there.
Yeah. And
there's a few questions fired at us. And, you know, it was... A lot of it's just about educating people about what we're about. You know, we don't do anything for self-gratification. We do it because we love the football club and we can see what's happening. We saw what was happening 3 years ago, and sadly, we keep getting proven right time and time again. So, you know, Radcliffe's got till, the middle of August before we're at a crossroads again, where there is the freeze on the shows or whatever, you know, comes to an end. So technically somebody can then come in and buy the football club, whether it's him, whether it's somebody else. But he needs to make his intentions known, because if he's in this long term with the Glazers, then we're back to square one.
Yeah, that's the worry in it. Is he propping up the Glazers? Is he helping the Glazers? That's not what we want to see. Coming naive, I had high hopes and expectations for Jim Ratcliffe when he came in.
We all did.
Yeah, I was hoping that this could be the sort of the answer we're all waiting for. And I'm not naive enough to think that there's loads of, you know, generous billionaires out there, but you thought maybe he's telling the truth when he says he's a United fan that cares about the club. Well, he's got the opportunity to prove it. He's made some decisions that I don't like, but we're not done yet, and we'll see what happens. Like you said, listen, anyone who's watching, right, and I understand it, because I see the comments sometimes, and you might think, okay, yeah, that's sad, or I can't come down there, I can't get involved, I don't go to the games, whatever. This is something that affects everyone. It does. So even if you can't get down to the stadium, you can share it on social media. You can let everyone know. Just sort of spread the word, spread the message. There's going to be a sit-in after the Manchester City game. We can't have City fans having a protest and being better than ours, or having more people there than ours for starters. That's one reason why we need to spread the message. And the other reason is everything that Steve's just said there. We need to let Sir Jim Ratcliffe know. We need to let the media know that Manchester United fans aren't going to stomach it. And thanks to the good work you guys are doing, that message has been pretty loud and clear, and just getting louder and louder, and you're not going away. And
no.
I admire, and I know, me and you chat a lot. I know you'd love to just go to the game, watch the football, and go home.
I got what that feels like.
Yeah, but you know, here we are. We're here for a reason. So make sure if you can get down there and you are going to the game, stay behind. We'll be there. Stay behind after the game. Let everyone know your voice is heard. And obviously, spread the message from the 1958. There's a link in the description as well, so you can go and check the guys out on there, see what else has got planned, give them your suggestions as well, because it's a bit of a forum you guys have in it where any fan can get involved with suggestions and ideas as well. That's what another reason I love the work you do. That's been Steve from the 1958. I've been Jay Moy. This has been a one-on-one chat. Big protest planned after the Manchester derby. Get involved, and thanks for watching.